Summer, it's hot, very hot, and this summer looks like one of the hottest. And summer is a time for parties and beer and beaches. And as you can see here, there is a lot of beer in this shop. Beer goes quickly too. I mean, they reload these pallets every day. And with beer and parties comes responsibility. A lot of people throw together parties at the last minute, hundreds of people turn up, people get very drunk. And what we want to do is talk about keeping yourself safe at home when you have a party. So we'll be talking to Ron Tustin from the Alcoholic Liquor Advisory Council, and we'll be talking to our local community constable, Graham Hosey. And we'll be talking about the best ways to take advantage of this.
Hi, Graham Hosey, Newland Community Constable, back with you once again. Hope you've had a safe week. This program, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Ron Tustin from the Alcohol Liquor Advisory Council. He'll be giving you some messages about safety in the sun this summer, and certainly in terms of alcohol and some of the offences associated with that. Over the last few years, as some of you may be aware, we've had a few problems with youngsters, with rowdyism and a whole raft of problems associated with alcohol. Of course, driving while drunk out in this area, and also certainly water emergencies where alcohol has played a part, where a lot of young people get a little bit carried away, start impinging on the rights of other people to have a good time as well, that haven't been drinking.
Oh, beer, beer, look at it all. Mountains of it. I don't want to go home, I'm staying here. That was Graham Hosey, he's the Community Constable for New Lynn, giving his side of the story. We're going to go across now to Ron Tustin, who's the head of the Alcoholic Liquor Advisory Council in Auckland, and he'll be giving us some tips about how to consume all of this safely.
It's that special time of year again when we have more parties and get-togethers with our family and friends. Sadly, many of the things that we do in the silly season, like giving people more alcohol than is safe, when we think we are being good hosts, are not the things that a friend would do. There are 5 basic steps to being a responsible host. The first one is to offer alcohol-free and low-alcohol drinks as well as alcohol. Drinks which don't contain full-strength alcohol have obvious appeal to drivers, especially in these days of compulsory breath testing. Offer plenty of good, solid food as well as drinks. Giving your guests the opportunity to eat while they're drinking makes them feel wanted and looked after, and because eating solid food slows up people's drinking, it reduces the risk that they will drink to excess and possibly harm themselves or someone else on the way home. Avoid serving very salty chips and nuts. They just increase your thirst and don't really satisfy your hunger. Serve alcohol responsibly. That's the third basic rule of being a responsible host. Don't force drinks on anybody. As the host, you are responsible to make people have a range of choices: alcohol, low alcohol, no alcohol, and food. Fourthly, don't serve alcohol to people who are already too drunk. At a small party, it is easy to tell when someone has had a few too many, and at the same time, you're likely to know them. There are also some telltale signs when people are actually getting drunk. Make sure you get home safely. That's the final rule of being a responsible host. Never let someone drive away from your place when they've had one too many. It's much better for them to curl up on your couch than to wrap themselves around a power pole. Now, if you'd like more information on host responsibility, good food and drink recipes, and signs of drunkenness, etc., contact the Alcohol Advisory Council, ALAC, here in Auckland on phone 309 1720. That's 309 1720. Meanwhile, have a happy and safe summer.
If I could reinforce the message about host responsibility, is if you do have some guests that come around and get a little bit shickered or boozed, just take some responsibility about them and their safety. There have been all number of accidents and problems that have happened with people that have had too much to drink. Some years ago, in fact, we had a situation where some people were on their way home from a hotel, and one of their mates decided to lie down on some railway tracks and said, "Oh, I'm going to go to sleep here," and his mates sort of laughed and sort of said, "Oh, okay, fine," and carried on. 5 minutes later, a train came through and sadly collected him, and he was killed. So as I say, his mates could have taken some responsibility as to his safety and taken him with them. With some of these impromptu parties that take place, I just advise you, if you do end up with a few people turning up that are uninvited, to ring the police straight away and get them along there. They can deal with them as trespassers and so forth. Don't wait until it starts getting out of hand before you give us a call. We'd rather know about it sooner than later.
Well, that's about it. That's our view about how to keep yourself safe over summer. I hope everyone has great parties in the hot sun, and just remember to look after your guests, because they're number one. You don't want them to go out on the road and cause accidents or be in an accident. I must say that I won't be driving home. My cameraman will, and I'm keeping a very detailed description of this location. I'll be back at some stage. But have fun in the sun this summer. And Merry Christmas from Local Link.